Welcome guys back to my channel and hello from Melbourne. Yeah, I'm staying at this lovely place in Melbourne last 5 days with Christine and Ray, and tomorrow finally I'm starting my trip, so excited, can't wait. But yeah, let's go back to this boring video, questions and answers from Africa tour, and yeah, let's see what we have. So Gilvenas is asking, is it safe to travel like this with women in Africa? Because I saw you only meet men on this trip. I want to travel like this with my wife, and she's a blondie, by the way. So yeah, from my experience, and I would say it's safe like everywhere else, or it's not safe like everywhere else. It's just, you can be mugged or harassed back in Norway, back in Europe, anywhere, any place in the world. So of course you need to be aware of where you're going, and yeah, you just need to ask people around where it's safe and where it's not safe, I would say. But from my experience, I was feeling very safe. Sometimes even safer than in Europe. I had much more bad experiences while hitchhiking in Europe than in Africa. Africa was very safe from my experience. I know many couples doing this. I know a solo woman, also solo girls doing this trip across Africa. Even now, as I speak, I know one girl, 22 years old, from South Africa. She's going all the way down to Cairo alone. So I think, yeah, many people have a bad opinion about Africa, like. So yeah, but I would say it's safe like everywhere else. There is many good people. Of course, there is also bad people. So it's just yeah, it depends how like you are, I guess. But yeah, so I think I would say it's safe. So Shilvinas, I think you should go with your wife and travel across Africa. Dan asked, I wanted to ask you about security again, and I notice you often camp in the country. How do you strategize keeping safe? Do you usually set your tent up in a distance away from the road? Do you try to keep your tent hidden from the view of any passing motorists? Also, how do you choose your route? What factors were involved in choosing the roads that you travel on, and did you pre-plan the entire trip or choosing the roads as you went? I'm really enjoying this journey of yours. So yeah, like I mentioned about security, it's just yeah, you need to know where you're going, and you need to know where not to go. Of course, avoid cycling at night, definitely, in the big capitals, in bad neighborhoods, of course. But yeah, with the camping, I mean, you just go every day. You don't know where you're gonna sleep, so usually you just camp as you go. But in some countries, you need to plan it ahead. Maybe, for example, because of the water, or if there is a big cities around. Me personally, I always try to avoid people. I always try to hide myself from any kind of vehicle or village or everything. I don't know, I just feel more safe like this. Yes, I mean, sometimes you can ask people. Many times they say you can stay with us, and or you just pitch a tent in a property. But yeah, so I prefer to do a stealth camping. Also, of course it depends from the country. Like I say, for example, in Uganda, we couldn't camp at all because it was everywhere full of people. So you use hotels, so then you can plan it. Okay, I'm gonna go there and there, so you plan a bit. So it depends from the country. So how I would choose the route, so it's very simple. Yeah, so there is some point of interest on my way, what I want to see them, and according to them I plan my route. But of course it's never like this, like especially in Africa, like you want to go there and you're gonna go there. Sometimes you need to yeah, you need to reroute many times. So I try to now I think I try to do like less on the smaller roads just to avoid the big highways. So and many times you ask people, locals, because they know the best, because sometimes you can see this route, but maybe it's bad or not accessible. So yeah, often I used to ask locals where is better. Okay, so next question, Trevor ask, what was there any equipment you wish you had taken with you, or any equipment you wish you hadn't taken? Number 2 question, especially on bicycle equipment, what size wheels do you have and what is the easiest size to get spares for Africa, including tubes? Okay, so I'm gonna ask first question. So there is no equipment that I was regretting taking or I wish to had it, I think. So yeah, everything was perfect, if you can say that. So second question, yeah, I think mine is 28 inch, so definitely I was struggling with finding some good quality tires, because majority what I saw is 26 or 29. So yeah, I think the easiest would be 26, and maybe if I would do that, I think next time I would do 26-inch tires. Yeah, and the third question, what would you do differently if you were do it again? I would not change anything at all, only one small thing, so it would be tires. Not the size, but the anti-puncture system, or whatever you can call it. So yeah, would be definitely I would do definitely tires, thicker tires with the protected shield and the puncture system. Probably tubeless if I could, but of course in Africa it's not so easy in some countries to do that. But yeah, I think only tires I would change. So yeah, let's see what's next. Frank Wieser. Yeah, sorry guys if I pronounce any of your names badly, but yeah. So Frank asks, so great your video. What is the next continent for you going to? Did you ever thought about giving up? Is it easy to be alone all the time? What was your motivation to do such a very long trip? What about your social contacts, your family? Do you miss them? How long do you expect to travel around the world? What did you do before to make this trip? What will you do after the trip? You see a lot of poor people compared to Europe circumstances. How much are you influenced by that? Whew, okay. That's a lot of questions. So let's start. Well, you see, now I'm in Australia, so this is easy. Do you ever thought about giving up? Not even a second. Yeah, this is my, like many years ago, I was dreaming about travel around the world, so I had never hesitated to or questioning myself, like, do I need to do this? So never. And yeah, is it easy to be alone all the time? I mean, in Africa, it's you never be alone because you're always surrounded by people most of the time. And I mean, I'm enjoying the company. Also, I was not alone. I was cycling with Patrick as well for 2 months. So I was meeting another travelers. But I like to be alone, but sometimes it's good company. So it was okay. Also, when you're staying with locals, you chat, you interact, you get your a bit of social life. If you spend somewhere alone a few weeks in the desert, then you stay a few days with someone. So it's like it's balanced. So it's okay. I enjoying definitely this balance of being alone and meeting local people. What was your motivation to do such a long trip? Yeah, I think the biggest my motivation all these years while I'm traveling is just just knowing that there is much more to discover, so much more beautiful places on our beautiful planet, and yeah, I think this is the major motivation for me, just to see them, explore them, meet new people, try new foods. So I think, yeah, all these different landscapes, all these different cultures, the different kitchens. So I think this is what drives me, just the feeling that I know somewhere there is this beautiful place, and I want to see it. For I think for me personally. Uh, yeah, I just wanna go and explore because just just it's just too big. We live in a too beautiful and too big place just to stay in one place. So I wanna see as much as possible. That's why I travel. This is my biggest motivation. Just the knowledge that there is something more and much more beautiful that I saw already. What about your social contacts, family, and whatever? Do you miss them? Of course, now you can WhatsApp, face call, whatever. You can talk with everyone you know and interact every day, with the calls. And of course, it's not the same like in real life, but like I mentioned, I do this many years, so I think I get used to it. This is who I am, so I don't see a big problem for me. And how long do I expect to travel around the world? So it's hard to say, with all the situation happening in our world currently, like pandemic and war and so on. So, but hopefully, as long as possible, I have some plans now for the next few years, so I hopefully universe will allow me to accomplish these plans. And yeah, but small steps, first Australia, and then just step by step. So yeah, what I gonna do after trip? I mean, yeah, this question doesn't make sense for me. Sorry, but you see a lot of poor people compared to Europe's circumstances. How much are you influenced by that? Definitely, Africa's, I would say, probably the poorest continent in the world, and I've been in a very poor, like places, like villages. People, many millions people just living on $1 or $2 per day. So you really see that, and definitely you appreciating small things like much more. They have a much bigger value for you, like for example, like simple meal, nothing fancy, or even just a water. So because sometimes you see people walking 20 kilometers just to have a water, or they can eat only corn because they cannot afford anything else because they grow only corn. So yeah, when you see these kind of things, you really start appreciating all those small things. And okay, what do I use for navigation? What camera are you using, and how do you find camps to sleep? Well, for camera, what I use on all my gear, you can find video. After this, I'm gonna put it. So there is a video of all my gear. How do I find cams? So we talk about it. And what? So what do you use for navigation? So I use few apps. I use Google Maps a lot actually. Also, I download free Google Maps. Also using Maps.me, Komoot, and iOverlander. Yeah, I think the biggest would be maybe Maps.me, Komoot for elevation probably more, and yeah, and Google Maps. So this is my three apps that I'm using. Yeah, of course, sometimes Google Maps cannot be trusted, especially in Africa. So, but yeah, so far it's working fine. So I think it's gonna be even better now in Australia. Dr. Kamasi asks, how many puncture holes did you gotten by the time you reach Cape Town? Yeah, 22 punctures, and then I get or 23, and then I get in Namibia tubeless, and after that I get only one. So 23 or 24 punctures. So it's okay. Which country do you enjoy the most cycling through? I enjoyed definitely Sudan a lot, probably mostly because you just was free and alone, and all after that Egypt stress with the police and with the garbage and all with that. I think that Sudan was like a relief, like finally, like you can chill a bit. So definitely Sudan. I enjoy Malawi a lot. I like it there. And Namibia, it was definitely the hardest country to cycle, but I enjoy it because the landscape was just unreal. So many color shades, and yeah. So I think this is my top 3 countries in Africa. And what was behind your mind as you were cycling through the parks in the desert, sleeping in the bush? Weren't you scared of animals? Maybe sometimes you were wondering about, like, oh, maybe there is a lion, maybe there is something, but yeah, I think the everyone was asking about big animals, but no one's mentioning the small, like snakes and scorpions, So when you go in a bush, you always need to check the ground, and when you have tall grass like 1 meter or a thick bush and you push your bike, you don't see anything. So it's a bit. I was more concerned about that, not the big animals than the small snakes, because I saw some poisonous snakes on my way. So you always consider like all these small crawlies, Yeah, what was in my mind? Just where I gonna stop for the break, where I gonna sleep. I think the biggest question is where you gonna sleep by the end of the day if you're not planned. So this is, but yeah, just dreaming about next section of your trip, just dreaming about next trips ahead. So just thinking many different things. And the last question is from Topcat, is how many repairs to the bike since Cairo? What was the cheapest country and what was the most expensive? How much overall total cost from bottom to Africa? What was the best experience? What was the worst and final? If you had to give the most important tip to your journey, what would it be? So yeah, there was some repairs actually. I would say maybe in every country. So for 22, 23 holes, so a lot of patching tubes. Maybe 5 chains, 3 cranksets, 4 or 5 bottom brackets, 2 cassettes, 3 pairs of tires, 3 pairs of pedals, 3 pairs of disc pads. I changed also a brake disc. So yeah, there was some changes definitely. What was the cheapest country? I think it was Uganda and Tanzania, maybe, I think, if I remember correctly. So it was the cheapest, and the most expensive definitely was Botswana. Overall cost, still don't know. I'm gonna do calculation later. So the best experience and what is the worst experience? Yeah, the best experience is just everyday cycling, just to be free, don't have any commitment, just you go and do whatever you want. This is what I mean, which was cycling, but just meeting people. I think the best experience, just meeting people. Worst experience. There was no like big worst experience. I think all those smaller breakdowns in the middle of nowhere when you need to hitchhike or push your bicycle for 20 kilometers, or for example in Namibia, like those smaller bad roads where you push. So this is not bad experience, but this is just like hard experience, but so there was no bad experience. I think any experience in the end is just good experience, because you learn from yourself, you grow as a person, and it's just it's just you can benefit from any bad experience. So all was good. I was lucky. No malaria, no food poisoning, no one robbed me, no one killed me, or whatever. So I was very lucky. I met very beautiful and very nice people, so I'm very grateful for that. It was amazing time, unbelievable experience. Didn't know what to expect, but get the best experience. And most important tip, Top Cat asks, what is the most important tip? What we to do? Oh, sorry. If you had to give one most important tip, it was easy. I mean, just go. Don't think, don't overthink, don't plan, because the best plan is no plan. Just, go. Don't think, just go. Just when you're gonna, because the first step is just the hardest step. When you're gonna make the first step, everything is gonna be how you want it to be, So that's it. I hope it was not boring. I hope I answer some like you enjoy my answers or whatever. Sorry I couldn't answer all, but just I don't want to make this boring video even longer boring video. So yeah, thank you for watching my videos, guys. Don't forget to subscribe it, like it, and also please consider, if you like to watch my videos, if you're enjoying my adventure, please consider to subscribe to my Patreons, or you can support in any different ways. Links are down below in the description. Yeah, because everyone knows traveling is not cheap, it's not free, especially now it's gonna be in Australia, New Zealand, super expensive. Anyways, thank you guys for everything. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. Thank you for your comments, for your beautiful words. It's amazing to share this experience with you. So, yeah, thank you and see you on the road.